Hello everybody, here is Anna, also known as Anna Knit on Ravelry, Anna Knit on Instagram, and you can find everything you need to know about me and my shop on annaknita.com. My last episode is 3 weeks ago and I have lots to show you today. I have to show you 2 half-finished objects, 1 German word of the day because you requested it, 5, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, actually 6 works in progress. I want to talk about our KnitAlongs and the Anna's Knit Club. I have some finishing plans for 2 of my long-term projects. I want to show you what I have in my shop because there is a new Opal collection that goes in the shop this weekend. And 4 InstaKnitNight questions I want to answer. So I would say we jump right in. First of all, I have 2 things to say. The first thing I want to say is a big thank you for all the messages and comments I have received after the last video when I spoke about my miscarriage. Thank you very much, and especially a big thank you to all of you who pray for me and Tommy and our baby. It helped us a lot to see that the support and understanding we get from you. It's amazing. Thank you very much. And thank you for all the women, to all the women who opened up to me and shared their experiences with their miscarriages with me. Many women have to go through that. Now I know that. And I think we have to help each other to go through that. So thank you very much. And the second thing I want to say is it's a new setting. I have filmed in this room before, all the episodes, but now I hope the light is well. I think this is a testing video to see how it goes in the post-production, but this is my yarn room now, or my, I don't know how to call this. Actually it's the children's room. It's the room where my husband grew up, and now that we live here it's more of a, we don't know how to where to put something, let's put it into the children's room. And my yarn stash is here, and our board games and other jazz. But now this room has become my business yarn stash room. Here it's here happens all the order packing, and here you can see, wait, oh, it's so difficult to do that. There you can see part of the shop stash, or the Opal unicolors, part of my Christmas kits and so on. Yeah, so I have room to store everything, and in the drawers there's all the packaging material and the Opal minis and stickers and tapes and needles and yeah, everything in here. Once this room is finished, I will give you a little room tour, but behind me you see shelves that need to go onto the wall behind me, and I have to reconsider my organizing system of my stash because now that I have so much room, and there is another shelf behind the camera you can't see that I don't use efficient enough yet because it's a new shelf. So that was what I did last week, and that was why I wasn't able to podcast, because I was building the furniture, building up, how do you say that? The IKEA stuff, pretty much the whole weekend. And now we want to jump into the segment. Oh yeah, you can skip the chapters here. If you hover over the timeline here on the YouTube video, or if you have a look in the description box below, you can pick and choose the chapters you are interested in and skip the ones you think you don't want to watch. So I have divided this video into chapters. It's easier. Or if you stopped and you don't know where you stopped when you last watched this video, and you can't watch it in one sitting, yeah, you can check a chapter. Okay, now we jump into the first segment, the real segment of this video, half-finished objects. I don't have a finished object this week, but I think I had lots to show you last time. The first half-finished object, I put it into this segment because I don't know where to put it else, is a a block for my Cozy Memories blanket. It's there on the whatever. How is this called? Is this whole furniture called drawer? I don't know. You know that I'm knitting the Cozy Memories blanket like the Stitch in Time blanket, but without a pattern, without anything. I made it up myself, and I knit 5x5 squares, and then I surround it with a white border. I explained that in, I think, the first or the second of my blanket talk videos you see in the playlists here on my channel. If you have questions, reach out to me, or have a look on my Ravelry page, project page for that. This is the green block that I have finished. Since I have my blanket knitting buddies I found on Instagram, we have our own little Telegram group, and we cheer each other up and keep each other updated about the progress on our blankets that are hibernating, or our scrap yarn blankets. We really want to put a dent into it. That helped me a lot. That helped me a lot to make progress. I don't know how many, I really don't know how many squares I have knit since I'm in that group, but I would guess 15, 20, and the border. So that's amazing. At the moment, I try to, I was going to say knit a square every day, but that is not correct, because I tried that, I failed, it's not possible for me. But I try to commit to 30 minutes of knitting 5 times a week. So maybe Monday to Friday, or if one day is not working out, I do it on the weekends or whatever. But that the first 30 minutes of knitting I'm doing on that day, whenever that happens, usually in the mornings, it's this project. Because for one square, it has 40 stitches, by the way, I need 30 minutes, approximately. And that works for me very well. Last week I wasn't that good. This week, today we have Thursday. I will load this video up, I guess, on Friday. So tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, Saturday. For this week I have finished 3 squares. So I'm on track. I'm using different yarns, leftovers, swaps, advent calendars, everything. I mix and match merino yarns, opal yarns. I put everything here. Sometimes I even use singles. I think this is a single. I have never experienced bad things in the washing machines. In the washing machine, I would throw this into the washing machine, and I think the wool wash program, and nothing will happen. I'm pretty sure. Okay, bleeding can happen. And one of my blankets, one square, bled a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. If it was, if it would have been, no, not if and would in one sentence. If it was a gift, I would be much more careful with washing it, or not using yarns that could bleed, or wash them beforehand. But for me, it's not a big deal. Okay, so this is my first half-finished object. I call it half-finished object, although it's not half of the blanket. I have the blanket here. I showed this, I think, 2 videos ago or so in detail, so I won't do it today. And I have started the next color block, but this I will show you this started block in the segment of works in progress. Okay, pretty. The second half-finished object is really a half-finished object. Because of the energy crisis here in Europe, many offices, one office, 2 offices, yeah, don't heat the rooms as they used to do when it's getting cold outside. So my mother-in-law requested for working in the office, because they only heat the room up to 19 degrees Celsius, Fahrenheit on the screen. She needs fingerless mittens. She told me exactly how they should be. They should be very tiny and not cover too much of her hand and fingers, so she can wear it, you know, to her blouse or fitted garments, and she can work on the PC, and that is, oh, that's my hotkey, by the way, to all the Eastern Christians here. Yeah, that is the fingerless mitt. It's, oh, the pattern is called, I read it on the screen. I have the pattern, I've forgotten the pattern name. It's a free pattern, and I pretty much followed the instructions, but she requested the colors. On the left hand mitten, the accent color will be green because it's the corporate identity. These are the corporate identity colors of the city she is working for. So it fits the logo. And it's very, very short. So here you see my, how is this bone called? I don't know. So it's not very long. Yeah, it's easy. This blue yarn is Lana Grossa Cashmere Meilenweit. Meilenweit, I don't know what Meilenweit is in English. That's how the collection is called. Miles, 4 miles, or I don't know. And this one is called, I have wrote it down. I've written it down. I think I have received this from the 3 ladies from the 3 by the Sea Designs. It's so difficult for me to pronounce that. It's called, the dye is called Violet Flamingo Fibers, and it's this orange. Yeah. I haven't woven in the ends yet, so I can flip it inside out, because I want my mother-in-law to wear it once, so I see if it's really fitting or if I have to change something. I had problems with the pattern, to be honest. It's a free pattern, and the pattern designer wrote in on the Ravelry pattern page, if you find mistakes, please reach out to me. It's a free pattern, it's not test knitted or anything, and I don't think that I found mistakes, but the instructions were weird when it came to the thumb increases, because it said knit to the slip, knit to the marker, and then do this lifted increase. But the way this increase works, the marker was in my way, so I think what she meant was knit to 1 stitch before the marker and then do this thing. So maybe she meant that, or maybe I was just too stupid to understand how the lifted increases work. So I changed the increases a little bit. I did do the left leaning, or left lifted and right lifted increase, but I didn't knit to the marker. Yeah. And for the, oh, I mixed them up. Well, the marker section was very confusing for me. And the second problem I had, that had nothing to do with the pattern, I was supposed to cast off in the pattern, so in 2x2 ribbing, so it has enough stretch, and I did something wrong. I followed the tutorial, but I did something wrong. I don't know why. So it was fitting for me, but I was, when I wore this, I was feeling the cast off. Can you imagine? I was able to move and everything, but I felt that, yeah, I felt the boundaries, so to say. So I had to undo the cast off. That was a pain in the butt, I can tell you. Cutting was involved. Then I had to pick up the live stitches again and then finish the last 2 rounds and then do the cast off again. Yeah, I don't cast off in pattern that often, in patterns that have to be stretchy, because I'm not doing toe-up socks, so I don't have to cast off ribbing so much. And for cuffs, I often like to knit only purse stitches for the cuffs. It's very cozy, and so you can do your normal Jenny stretchy bind off. How it's called? Magically stretchy bind off. So yes, that was a learning curve. Now I know what I have to do on the second mitt, and I would have started that, but because I was away yesterday the whole day, my mother-in-law couldn't try this on. So she will try it on today, and then I can maybe tonight cast on the second mitten. Mitten? It's called fingerless mitt, right? Is mitt just the abbreviation or short form for mitten? Please tell me in the comments down below. It's always confusing. I know mittens are gloves without fingers, so that is the difference. Gloves are like this, and no, sorry. Mittens are like this and gloves are like this. So this should be called fingerless mittens. Is that correct? I don't know. I don't know. Please educate me. My half-finished object. I put it here. Now I have to have a look on my paper here. Okay, works in progress. I showed you last time the socks for Tommy out of the Opal yarn from the subscription. Let me check. Yeah, camera is working. And I was going to knit the pattern, the Simple Skyp socks. But it wasn't working for this yarn, in my opinion. The designer said it's also very good for busy yarns, and I agree. I saw many busy yarns knit into that pattern, but it wasn't working for me. I wasn't seeing the stitches, so there was no point for me to go on with the pattern. So I unraveled everything and just started to knit. What is going on here? Oh, I found needles. Okay, put them here. First of all, maybe you want to see the bag my friend Karina made for me for Advent. I think that was, yeah, that was part of our Advent swap last year. I received something every Sunday of Advent, and she received every day a yarn I wrapped for her, so that was amazing. It's my Harry Potter bag. That's her logo, because it has something to do with her surname, but I won't talk about her surname. Here is the yarn. It's Opal Subscription from September 21. And I have received the September subscription from this year already. I will show you today. Here's the yarn. It's a pretty men color, and Tommy picked this yarn, or chose this yarn. I like to ask him which yarn he wants for his next pair of socks. And here you can see, okay, wait, how it knits up. Oh, this side is better. I think it's very pretty. I have seen this knit up already in the Facebook group and Ravelry group for the Opal subscription. I like this very much. It's not much progress because I had to, as you have seen, I had to work on other projects. This sock should be done by Christmas, so I have no stress. I would love to work on this because you know how much I love Opal yarn, but I have to put it down on the priority list, unfortunately. But yeah, it's so much fun. 2.5mm needles, symphony needles, by the way. I love wooden needles. Bamboo not so much because they are too slow. They have too much grip for me, but I have heard that the bamboo needles by Haya aren't like that. So if you have experience with bamboo needles from companies that aren't too grippy, please let me know, because I'm always curious to try out different needles. These are the Knitter's Pride or Knit Pro Symphonies, 2.5mm, and for Tommy I cast on 64 stitches. That is a shoe size 42-43 in Europe. On my table, you can get, on my sock knitting table, you can get in my Etsy shop, you can look up all the shoe sizes in the different country systems. So in EU, UK and US. Yeah. So I don't have to write it on the screen. Okay. I say okay too often, right? I noticed that myself. The next sock should have been done by the end of September, because I'm hosting the Anna's Knit Club. I will talk about this knit along of the other kind later on in this video, in the knit along talk. But I have finished the socks I'm wearing right now. I hope did I show you? Oh no! I will insert a picture here. I think, have I finished them? But no, I showed you the work in progress in the last video. So here is a finished object. In case I haven't shown you in the last video, it's the Patons Croix pair of socks. 60 stitches, 2.5mm needles. I had a hard time working this yarn, but I love to wear those socks. They are amazing. They keep shape. They are very warm. When you wear them, you fit into your shoes. It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm wearing them the whole week now. They are great. But my second pair of socks for the autumnal prompt of September from the Anna's Knit Club is in this bag I made myself several years ago, and this pair could have been done easily, but I had to knit on my design for Christmas, so I wasn't able to put much time into that. I will show you the finished one first. That is Opal yarn. The collection is called Herbstmelodie, Autumnal Melody, and this is the colorway Maronenduft, chestnut scent, and the number is 11125. It's not in my shop because it's sold out in the wholesale. As I told you, Opal designs collections, makes them, puts them out into the world, and if they sell out, they are sold out and they won't come back. Please tell me if it's the same with Felice yarn, but I think it's the same system, right? Felice yarns, these sock yarns, come out in collections, and if they are sold out, they are sold out. And here is the second sock. I finished the cuff and the leg, and I have attached the natural white yarn, Opal, for the heel. Also a vanilla sock, because this pattern of the self-striping is so pretty. I wanted to showcase it. I really like pattern socks and love to knit pattern socks. It's so much fun. Not so much, I don't like to knit lace so much, although they are stunning mostly, but because of my yarn choices and because I don't enjoy knitting lace so much, I prefer textured socks, so without lace. But this is a vanilla and it's so much fun. It could be done, both Opal yarns could be socks already, but there was so much yarn room building and Christmas or Advent calendar knitting, because I'm preparing the Advent calendar for you all, the mystery knit along. Yeah. This is so lovely. Lovely. I would like to stop now and just knit on this sock, but there's so much to do. There's so much to show, and when I have finished podcasting here, there is so much to do for the shop. I can't tell you. Okay, what's next? Oh, I have a new cast on. Okay, I had no business casting this on. I had really. It's a blanket, and I have so many blankets on the go. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 4 blankets, and this is the 5th. And this yarn was left over from my temperature blanket. It's Stylecraft Special DK and a few leftovers from my Christmas blanket. So that was Schachenmeier Bravo, I think. It's also both acrylic, both DK. The Schachenmeier is a little bit thicker. And when I say leftovers, I mean complete balls of yarn, because I bought too much for the temperature blanket. You never know how many colors, how many balls of which colors you need for a temperature blanket, and I like to have everything at home so I don't have to restock them in the on the go in the process, during the process. So I had, I think, 15 or 16 balls of yarn left of all these colors from the two blankets. And I always wanted to make the granny ripple blanket. So it's crochet and it's easy and it was so much fun. I can tell you, I was 2 weeks ago on the weekend. I think I started it 3 or 2.5 weeks ago, and the first weekend I was crocheting on it, it was so addictive. You know, when you start a new crochet project, for me it's, at least for me it's this way, it's so addicting. Yeah, and I crocheted so much that my left hand was hurting. I couldn't do anything with my left hand. I couldn't open glasses, I couldn't grip, I couldn't hold my phone. It's interesting because I'm crocheting with the right hand, but I'm holding the fabric, so the blanket, scrunched up a little bit so I can crochet more easily. And I think I was just too, yeah, it made my hand stiff, I think. So this part here was hurting badly, really badly. And I had to pause for a day. And I crocheted on the second day and it still hurt, but it was getting better already. I can't stop just because it's hurting. I'm this kind of person. Pain can't stop me from anything. So yes, here it is. I have added already all the colors I have. This is the right way. Here is my blanket. And it is approximately 140 or yeah, 100, let me see, or 150 centimeters wide. Here it is. Oh, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. And I love crocheting with these happy colors, and they go so well together because in crochet you can do whatever you want. Really, you can do whatever you want with crochet. It's always pretty. Oh. I love to see that. Now that I'm holding this in my hand, I immediately want to work on that. But this had to take the back seat last week as well. I will show you all the colors in the balls. Here's my felted bag. Okay, wait. Ha! And most of them are Stylecraft Special DK. And these are the Schachenmeier, let me see, yeah, Bravo Originals. Leftover from my Christmas crochet blanket. I have another green leftover, but that is too stark. Wait, I will show you. This one is also part of my Christmas blanket, but that is, I don't know. I feel like this is too much for this blanket. I have plans for that also. I have other acrylic leftovers I have received from a friend in Austria. It's Volbut Versailles. And I have, for example, here this, and other pretty colors, but this is fingering weight yarn, and I will hold it double. So I have DK, so I'm a little bit quicker, and maybe make a blanket with black as contrast. Granny square or something. I would like to make a blanket with a black contrast. So, but here I only use all the colored yarns, no white, no contrast or anything. I will see what I do on the border, or if I will do the border. I think so. I think I would like to square this up here, these what is it called? I don't know. Yeah. This is so pretty. I know many knitters don't use acrylics, and I have, on the one hand, I like acrylics because they are affordable, they are easy to care for. I especially like Stylecraft Special DK. After one accident, I now know how to wash them, because when I washed my temperature blanket in the washing machine, it felt so electric. So my hair was going up, and it wasn't so squishy anymore. It was not so soft. But then I can remember I rinsed it with water and shampoo, just simple shampoo. Someone suggested conditioner. I didn't have conditioner, so I thought the closest to that is shampoo, so I used that. And after that, the blanket was amazing, soft, and no electric feel to it or anything. So so easy to care for. But on the other hand, I know it's plastic. Acrylic yarn is plastic. Sometimes our plastic bottles, you know, the water, Coca-Cola bottles and so on, are made into yarn. So, and although I want to avoid plastic, not so much because it's so bad for the environment, because I think plastic is a very important part of our world. We need plastic, but I try to minimize the use of plastic for example, that when I cook, or when I store food, or for example, I usually don't wear garments that have a lot of plastic, because it has a very bad impact on your fertility and for many other things. So I am aware of the negative sides of plastic, but it's a blanket, so I throw it over myself when I'm wearing clothes. I don't wear it on my skin, or I don't think that this is dangerous or something for me. So I see the positive sides, but I can understand people who say no acrylics for me. I don't understand, or I can't relate to people who say, oh, it's so cheap, you know? So just because of yarn snobbery or so. That's a reason I don't understand, but everyone can do what they want, so I don't care. But yeah, so I guess it's not love and hate relationship, but you have to consider how to use the items you make out of acrylic. But I love acrylic blankets. They keep me so warm, especially now that heating is so expensive. Yeah, new cast on. I think I cast on about 280 stitches. I made a swatch and measured. Really, I made a swatch for this blanket, because I wanted to make sure that I don't make a too big blanket, so I would have to buy additional yarn. Yeah, amazing. This will be 160 to 180 centimeters long, so my height or Tommy's height. Okay, what does my sheet say? Yeah, these... No. My new block, my new Cozy Memories block cast on, I want to show you. This is in my favorite bag by Julie. With this pretty Benny. I have received additional ones from Julie. That is so amazing. Okay, here is my gray block. I haven't woven in any ends yet, because I like to do it when I create a ridge on the back side, so I can weave it into the ridge that is created when you attach a square. Oh gosh. Here are my, which is the, oh, is this the front or is this the, wait, this is the front. Okay, here are my first 5 squares. I made, what did I make? A standing rocket out of this. The colorway is called Grey Parade and it's by the Mondschaf. It's a German dyer. This was a sock for, I don't know, but I know this yarn is from Aldi. Swap, swap, swap. And I always start okay, this is, I have 5 squares here and I need 5 by 5. And I always do the squares that, how can I explain that? Usually, I knit the squares on the left side of my big square first, because these squares involve a cast on I don't like. The cast on when you put the yarn around your thumb and then put the loop on your needle, because that is not a pleasure to knit, this cast on. Then I start this row, because for that row I only have to cast on first and then pick up. That is easy because you can do the long tail cast on and then pick up the other half of the stitches. So I will do this 5 times and then I only have to pick up the stitches, because that is the most easy way, in my opinion, the easiest way to add a square. Because when I have established or set up this row and this row, it's smooth sailing afterwards. I hope that made sense. Yeah, as I said, I cast on 40 stitches and my decreasing is knit 1 stitch before the marker, slip, slip, knit, slip the marker, knit 2 together. And that creates this stripe here. Yeah. And since I do my color blocks in color schemes, so my blocks in colors, not all the colors in one block, this is gray. And I have many gray leftovers. I made socks out of this. This is Regia, I think. I have Opal leftovers. I knit socks for Tommy out of that. I have Opal minis. This is the Dragon collection. Let me see. I have this colorway in my shop, in a big skein. This was my Advent Mystery Knit-Along yarn from last year. I knit socks for my dad out of this one. I have forgotten. The colorway was called Chicory. I received this from Sarah, the Love Sock Wool podcast. So it was a podcast. Yeah, so many memory yarns actually, and some yarns from swaps. But the Memories blanket, the concept of the Memories blanket for me is not only to use Memories yarns, so yarns you use for projects and you will remind them when you cuddle up under your blanket. Because I'm such a slow knitter, I connect memories with all my hand knitted items. So this blanket will be, oh, now it's getting dark. Wait. So this blanket will be a Memories blanket because all these blocks remind me of the time I was knitting them. Yeah, that is my approach to knitting anyway. Next up, knit along talk. Okay, we have still the Anna Knitter blanket along, hashtag Anna Knitter blanket along going. It's a make along, so knitting, crocheting, sewing, whatever. On Instagram and Ravelry, we have a Ravelry thread. I'm not that active there. I concentrate a lot on Instagram lately because many of my viewers aren't on Ravelry anymore. You use the hashtag Anna Knitter blanket along and show your progress or your finished blankets. It should motivate you to work on your blankets because they tend to take the back seat. I experienced it myself the last 2 weeks. And the next winner will be drawn, the next 2 winners will be drawn from Ravelry and from Instagram in December. And you can win a set of Opal minis. 10 minis. They have 10 gram, 42 meter. And I think they are great for scrappy projects. And our new, I can't say year long, but we will see how long we want to do that, because it's much fun. Maybe we will just do it forever. The new knit along is Anna's Knit Club. I guess it will contain crochet in the future as well. I think you can enter crochet anyways, even now. But it's called Anna's Knit Club. Why it's called Anna's Knit Club? I'm glad you ask. So, I don't have friends nearby that like to knit. So I know some ladies in not really neighborhood, but not too far away, that knit, but I don't know people in my age, or it's so hard for me to go to knitting meetups, because yeah, just for several reasons. So I thought, let's do a digital knit club. It's like a book club, but with knitting. That means every month I will provide you with a prompt. Like in a book club, you know? In a book club, you agree on one book and everyone is reading this book and you talk about that. And next month you read another book. And the September prompt was knit something in autumnal or Halloween inspired colors. And that was my Peyton's Croy sock pair. I hope I showed you. And this month, it's October, it's start and finish a patterned sock. I don't care if it's a baby sock. I don't care which pattern it is. It can be a free pattern, it can be a ripped pattern, it can be something you made up yourself. I don't care. You can knit a pattern sock. But I would encourage you, try to challenge yourself and start and finish a pattern sock within October. So that is our October prompt. You can win a prize every month. How can you play along? Just hop over to Instagram, share your project with us and use the hashtag Anna's Knit Club. Every once in a while I have a look through the hashtag and I share all your projects on my Instagram stories, and I put them into the monthly highlights. So you can look up the highlights, for example, from this month already or from September if you want to get inspired, if you need pattern inspiration or anything like that, or if you're just curious. So we are connected a little bit better, and to have an even better community feeling, like a real knit club, like a real meetup with people just from all around the world digitally, I opened a Telegram group. Telegram is something like WhatsApp, and I put the link to our it's an open group, everyone can enter. If you want to join, I put the link to our Telegram group in the description box below. I also shared this on Instagram. You can see it in the October's story highlights, so easy to find. And if you follow the link, if you don't have Telegram already, you can find, I think you can find, when you click the link, your app store will ask you, or your Play Store will ask you, do you want to download this app? It's a very good app. It's like WhatsApp, just better, because you have more functions, more features, and it's more secure, I think. I think it's more secure, or at least as secure as WhatsApp, regarding, you know, privacy settings and all that. That is amazing. And yeah, then if you want to chat with us in the Telegram group, it's so much fun. We have 20 members there right now, and we share our projects regarding this prompt of the month. We encourage each other, we show progress, we share our, I wanted to say recipes, patterns, for example. So it's a very, very nice place to be. I enjoy it very much. I'm very active there, so we can chat there if you want to. These were my knit-alongs. Now I want to briefly talk about my plans for finishing long-term projects. As you know, I have several blankets on the go, and it's not very satisfying to see all the started projects that linger around since ages. I mean, my Regenbogendecke rainbow crochet blanket, it's this one here. I think I started this in... When did I start this? 2017, 18? And I started this one in 2016. These are my oldest ones, I think. Yeah. And I calculated a little bit. Okay. Because of my Blanket Buddies group, I'm very inspired to finish at least this one within the next months. Okay, not 1 month or so. I calculated. If I keep my routine of at least 5 times a week, my 30 minutes of knitting with that blanket, I would finish this blanket. So I have still to make around 150 squares and the border around the big squares within, what did I write down? 6 months. Okay, that is not too much. If I am able to finish 5 squares a week, and sometimes on the weekends I not only knit 1 square but several squares, so I have wiggle room and the border and everything. If I keep that routine, this blanket is done in 6 months. So I think I can do that. I try to knit a square every day and fail dramatically. And I tell you, some weeks I have a blanket tracker in my bullet journal. And 1 week I only knit 3 squares. Oh, but the week before I knit, I think, 8 or 9 squares. Wiggle room, you know? Okay, and I think when I have finished this one, I will go over to this one. I had a look where I am with this blanket, and I am at clue 7 of 13. If I crochet a row a day, not 7 days a week, like with the square blanket, you know, like 5 times per week, 30 minutes of crocheting, that equals around 5 rows in a week, more or less. And then adding the border, I can be done, if I do that, within 2.5 months. I mean, that is possible. I think that I could make that. So maybe it's inspiring for you. Maybe, I think the crazy sock lady came up with the idea of 30 minutes of knitting on a project. You want to see progress. So I calculated that maybe it's inspiring for you. Let me show you what I have in my shop right now for you, because there are still autumnal yarns, and if you are not quick enough, I will knit them. I have especially one sock set. I'm very tempted to start, although I have too many whips already. Okay, I have the sock set All Hallows Eve on a merino sock yarn blend with a mini for contrasting heel and toe. Then I have autumnal vibes with a mini 20 gram for heel and toes. And I have dyed up Home. It's one of my favorite colors, if not the favorite color, on a more sturdier sock yarn, so like Opal, and yeah, and other colors as well. But these are my favorites. So if you want to have a look on in my shop, you can hop over and shop there. And I have my Christmas kits. Oh, Christmas kits. I want to show you a project connected to them. Wait. I can't show you the project because it's a mystery knit along. I am writing down at the moment, and I hope to be able to release the pattern by the so around October 15, I hope. I can show you that much. These are the colors, and I have yarn kits in my shop out of Opal Yarn. They are there. You can buy 5 colors, so 2 greens, 2 reds and white, so very Christmassy and affordable. Design, it's a cowl, it's a Christmas cowl, it's a stitch sampler cowl, like my sock last year, but with other stitches and in 12 clues. And again, I add to the pattern clues some lovely songs, Christmas songs, German ones, German traditions, recipes and all that. So you know how I do my mystery knit-alongs if you have participated in one already. So like the self-care cowl over the 7 weeks, or the Christmas cowl, Advent cowl last year, and I want to do this year again. This year you will get the complete pattern. You buy the pattern and you will have all the clues right away with all the links to videos and music, and all the content is already there. I want to try it this way because I thought when you buy an advent calendar, you are good and patient enough not to open them all at once, right? So I think we can do it with the digital advent calendar as well. So, and it's 12 days, so every second day you can swipe left to see the next clue. You can print it out, don't look what you print out, and just wait until the cover page comes, and then you can flip pages without being spoiled. And that makes it easier for you. You don't have to go to the computer every day and download something or log into Teachable or something. So you get on Etsy or on my website then, but first on Etsy, everything you need to knit this. And the new collections. So the new Opal collection will be in my shop. When you watch this video, it is already in my shop. And it's very exciting for me because for me it's the Helgen collection. If you remember, I designed the Helgen socks in green yarn, green and red yarn, and it was yarn from my Opal subscription. And when I found out that this Opal subscription yarn will get into a collection, will become a collection of 8 different lovely colors, I immediately thought, oh my gosh, I could knit all the dragons. I can knit all the dragons. Now I have a green and a red dragon, and now you can also knit dragons in other colors. Okay. These are the 2 colors I have knit my Helgen socks in already, okay? This was the first one I designed with, and the second yarn I immediately started that. Here you can see how it looks. And I think it's so much fun to imagine the different colored dragons. I'm a big fantasy fan, and this collection is so perfect for it. It's called Cats and Dogs. Here's the tag. But I see dragons. Let me show you. A brown dragon. A grey dragon. I saw the pattern Helgen knit up in a similar yarn, and it's so pretty. Perfect men color. And the pattern is perfect for men because it's not so feminine. It's very unisex. You can knit a yellow-orange dragon. Oh, this will be great. It's perfect. This yarn is perfect for my Helgen socks because the pattern shows up lovely in this kind of gradient yarn. A blue dragon. I need to cast this on soon. I love this. One of my favorite books has a blue dragon, Zafira, as a main character. This is a more light blue. Amazing. This is amazing. I can see all the dragons. And this is stunning. Ta-da. Definitely have a look. If you haven't downloaded my Helgen sock pattern, now is the best time because all my sock patterns are 50% off during Socktober. So all my patterns 50% off in my Etsy shop during Socktober. Christmas kits 50% off, and I have lots of Opal minis still left. I showed you a few minutes ago, so hop over to my shop and have a great time there for October. Okay, this is Future Anna. I forgot to show you something and I will insert it here. Now I want to show you my Opal yarn subscription I have received. As you know, I receive 6 balls of yarn 4 times a year from Opal. I never know what I will receive. They are not in a collection, they are not available for purchase yet, but some of them will be in collections and some of them will never be dyed up again. Okay, I'm so in love with my Opal yarns. Okay, just a quick show. This is my star of this shipment. This is amazing. This is so pretty, and we have new Opal subscription tags. Here you see the word abo. It's the word, the short form of abonnement, and that means subscription. And they change the tags every once in a while. It's very pretty. Oh, the smell of opal. Okay, then this one is very lovely. This would be something for a baby, I think. That would be a lovely baby garment. And then a similar striping, but with different colors. I have never seen something like that before from Opal. This reminds me a lot of the collections Under the Sea, Wasserwelten, Water Worlds. Very, very pretty. Very springy, Eastery. This will be a pair of socks for Tommy. Great men color. Very bright, but blue and yeah, possible for men. I asked Tommy already. And this is my personal hero. I mean, the other light blue one is the star, because you opened up the box and it was like, oh, wow. But this is so Halloween-y. That's why I love it. I see Halloween in here. And I have bought a contrast color, I think 2. I bought the yellow and the pink you see in the skein from Opal. So I can knit heels and toes with this yarn. And I have much to knit this month. But I hope I can start this ball of yarn for our Anna's Knit Club prompt. Start and finish a pattern sock. Yeah, I want to knit the Schafpate socks. It's a German pattern, I'm sorry. Maybe I can ask the designer if I can translate it so I can link to the pattern so you can knit it. It's a free pattern. Yeah, this will be a Halloween cast on next to my other Halloween sock out of my Halloween mini set. Whew, I nearly forgot to show you these balls of yarn. Now, I don't know which segment follows up. This is an after record after I finished the podcast, so have fun with the rest of the podcast. Now, for the last chapter, I want to answer 4 InstaKnitNight questions. Are you ready? First one, what is your favorite brand of needles? I'm not sure if I answered this before, but I wanted to answer it again because I would like to try out other needles too. The most needles I use are the Knit Pro Symphonies or Knit Pro Dreams. They are the same, only different colors. The one is single color coded and the other one is rainbow-like. But I really would like to buy another interchangeable needle set, high-end, so Haya or Chaogu, and I can't decide which to use, which to buy, which is better. The cords of the Chaogus are better than the Hayas, but I like the color of the Haya cord and the tips of the Hayas, so I can't decide. I really can't. I'm a big fan of the cubics right now, so the Knitter's Pride or Knit Pro cubics. They are wooden needles, I showed you, and I'm knitting my cowl at the moment with them because they are so smooth on your wrists and on your hands. When I knit with the DPNs by Haya, my hands are hurting. I love them because they are so quick. And vanilla socks are very nice to knit with them, but as soon as I start to knit a pattern, I have to hold them very tight so I don't lose them because they are so slick. So there are several needles for several projects you knit. But my favorite needles are wooden needles. I like the material because it's so warm and natural. I like the sound they make. I prefer the sound of wooden needles over metal needles. But I want to venture out. I would like to try out other needles. So if you have recommendations, please write it down below. I'm very open to recommendations right now. The second question is an older one and I answered it, but I want to answer it again because something changed. If I have knitting goals, yes, I had knitting goals. My goal was to knit a square every day on my Cozy Memories blanket. I didn't do that. That was impossible for me to do that. So I want to reconsider my goals, and I think I shouldn't commit to something like do this every day. Life isn't that way. I'm not good enough to do something like that. I know there are people out there who have the best morning routine and they I don't know, read every day 1 hour and they work out half an hour and they meditate half an hour, and I don't know how they do that. I am a very, very structured person. I have a very good schedule of my life, and I'm very... when you have discipline, is that the word? You know, I'm all about that, and I'm a very tidy person and everything. Although I'm not able to keep these kind of goals. So I think I will have more project related goals. Something like, okay, this year or next year I start this year, because I don't understand the concept of you have to wait until January 1st to start a new habit or goal or something. So I want to keep the routine. I try with my Cozy Memories blanket, and my goal for next year is to have this blanket finished. With this 5 times per week, 30 minutes of knitting and so on. And afterwards I want to put a dent into my rainbow, it's called rainbow blanket, this blue one. With the same approach, you know? So these will be my goals I set for myself. This daily thing isn't working for me. And when I say I want to put a dent into the project, I have a plan, I have a structure in my mind. Not just, I want to have this finished and I have to knit on it every day, because in that way I won't finish it. So I need to find a workaround, and I think this workaround will be good. Memory lane. What is the first knit or crochet you have ever completed? Okay, if you... The very first was in primary school when I learned to crochet. And when we learned to crochet, we weren't crocheting pot holders. That would be so easy, way too easy for my teacher. We crocheted very tiny bags. So we had a leather bottom. We punched holes around just around the circle, and then crocheted into the holes and crocheted up. So I don't know if we did like granny stitches or half crochets or double crochets or triples. I don't know, I can't remember anymore. I only know that it was much fun, and I was very excited when I finished this. I think it was going to be a purse for money or something. So I crocheted up, and then we made, in German it's called Kordel. It's not a cord. When you twist the yarn in this direction and then fold it up and twist it in itself. That's always much fun for kids to do that. We did this, and so we could close the bag like a drawstring bag. So we crocheted a drawstring bag. That was my very first finished crochet. My very first finished knit. I never finished something in school because I told the story before, because of the rolling in stockinette. A scarf. A garter scarf. Out of sock yarn I bought from Aldi in grey. Yeah. Oh, it took me forever. It took me forever. How do you store and organize your yarn? I want to put this question aside because I would like to make a little room tour when I show you how I organize my yarn, but for that I need a new system because I have new shelves now, new cupboards. I need a new system to organize it. But I can tell you roughly right now, I organize my yarns by weights, fingering yarn, thicker yarn, and then sweaters quantities. So I have one box, you see I think one box there. One box is only filled with sock yarn. And with sock yarn I mean sturdy sock yarn like Opal, Peyton's Croy, Regia, these kind of things, not fancy merino things, even if they are supposed to be sock sets. Then I have one box with all the single pretty fingering weight skeins, one box with everything above and beyond fingering weight. I think I have one skein of DK and then one skein of Aran weight or something. So this is, and inside is mixed fibers. So that can be cotton, that can be silk, that can be merino. And then I have one box filled with sweaters quantities in different yarn weights. And then I have several boxes with minis. That is my system right now. Yeah, okay. Thank you for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed everything. I'm looking forward to see you hopefully in my Telegram group or in the comments down below, and you know where you can find me, and we will see each other in 2 weeks. Have a lovely Socktober knitting time. Until then, bye bye!